everybody. This is Matt with Altcoin Buzz. You asked for it, you got it. The AltcoinBuzz Army said, could you look at Cardano, Neo, and IOTA? We're going to do that today. If you're new here, hit this subscribe button, please, and ring this bell for notifications. Every time a new video drops at Altcoin Buzz, we will notify you. Avail yourself to all the social media here. And if you want to know about these projects, the fundamental view, other videos we had done on here, just type it in the search right here on Altcoin Buzz, Cardano, Neo, and IOTA, and you're going to get a bunch of videos that we've done on this before. I'm not going to go through these on a team basis and how we have looked at them before. I want to give you a fresh perspective today on what do you do with it now? What's happening if you are a short-term trader or investor, a mid-term and a long-term, and what is your definition of that? But first, funny news story of the day. This is on CoinDesk. It was on several other media outlets from yesterday. I am cracking up at this. From Bank of America, you know, the big bank, Bank of America. In their annual SEC filing, they said a few things. Again, don't take this as fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's not at all. This is funny because guess what, guys? Blockchain is winning. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency is winning. And here's proof. In their annual stock market filing, this is just normal for publicly traded companies, they said that they now consider crypto a business risk. Wow. That is amazing. Look at the quote down here. They said they're going to be spending more money to stay competitive. Competitive with who? Blockchain. This is an acknowledgement that blockchain is significant, that it's taking over. It's a disruptive technology that can't be stopped. It has to be addressed even by the big banks. Here's their quote in their filing. The widespread adoption of new technologies, including internet services, cryptocurrencies, and payment systems, could require substantial expenditures to modify or adapt our existing products and services, the bank said. Well, I'll be. You guys knew that. Poor Bank of America, they're going to have to spend more money on this. You know they have 44 patents for blockchain. They've already been in this. This is just funny to me. It's a surefire sign that blockchain is taking over. All right, you guys want to know about Cardano. You want to know how I'm looking at Neo and IOTA. Just a quick check on things on the social side. On the Twitter, we're going to look at the development side of GitHub, and we're going to look at some trading pictures, short, mid, and long term. I'm going to show you how to do that. But let's start at Coin Trends with a Z right there, cointrends.com. I like to look at this for fun because the amount of tweets in the last hour can tell you what is moving on the buzz, on the social side, on the media hype side for what you guys are looking at. And let's do a refresh on this and just see what's running in the top 10. And I think right here we have Neo. 497 tweets in the last hour. Earlier in the day when I checked this, they were at 800 tweets in the last hour. So it's interesting to see what's happening on the top list. And here we go. Cardano, ADA, right there, 419. Earlier in the day, it wasn't even in the top 10. So you got some market buzz, some media buzz going on. So I like to see that. I like to see that these two are in the top 10 when I check on this and find out where I'm at. I'm going to treat this, guys, like I've never looked at these, like I don't know in there. And somebody just told me, hey, these are 3 coins and cryptos that you need to get into. And I'm going to give my perspective on that. Another thing you can do here on Coin Trends, and this is just for fun. This one's free. I'm not even going to charge you for this one. 24-hour highest trading volume. You can get a blip on that right there. Let's see if our guys are in there. No, they're not on trading volume. But they have this thing from Bittrex that is market alerts in the last 10 minutes. Ooh, look at that. They got a pump alert. Who's that? BTC Wings is pumping. Price increase, 5%. 5.7 in the last hour, 10 minutes with a volume change of 18 and a buy order change. You guys can use this if you're deciding to get involved with things and find out, especially on these 3 projects, are they going, hey, look at that. There's ADA right there. The Ether ADA pair in volume change is 1.8% difference in the last 10 minutes. Very interesting. So you would dive into the chart, look at that, which we are going to do right now. These are Bittrex alerts, so it's not every exchange. But it's good insight to get yourself a little alert to find out what's going on. You can dive in this for yourself. But let's look at coincheckup.com. Here we go, guys. This is the master list. Remember, you can put your favorites in here and toggle that only according to your coins. That's a nice way to get a picture of everything that you're involved with. You can see my list right there. Some things are moving, some things are not. We're down overall for the last 24 hours on most things. Oh, but look at this. As we are looking at Cardano, NEO, and IOTA, for the 24-hour, IOTA has went positive, up 4%. Earlier in the day, it was not like that, so that's good. We're going to take a closer look at that. But when you pull open this master list on Coin Checkup, you guys know it's arranged according to market cap. I like to arrange it according to 24-hour volume because what matters most are people buying and selling. What are they doing with it? How much volume? Is there volume behind this? Is there more buyers than sellers? We're going to look at the big trend of these three that you want to see and look at some volatility too. So going left to right, let's start out with Cardano. You see on market cap here, it's in the 6th spot, NEO's in the 7th spot, IOTA's in the 10th spot. So they're in the top 10 on that. But let's toggle it according to 24-hour volume and see what we get first off. I'm just noticing at the top here, Bitcoin volume is a little lighter today. Tether volume is about normal for the day. We got Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, rounding out that top 10, NEO and EOS. EOS or tomato, potato. You guys can correct me on that. People did on my video on that. Tron, and then there's NEO, and then there's Cardano, and this is toggled according to volume, and we'll keep looking down the line there to find our IOTA. But Cardano is first on volume. NEO's first on volume. So we want to look across here. Yeah, 150 million. Cardano, 130 million. So good amount of volume today. But let's look at the volatility and dive into these things even further. Let's go Cardano first because that's what I told you we would do. So you can click on that. And we're going to head into this. We're going to look not only at the social volume and the Twitter and what's going on with it. We're going to look at the development volume, see if there was a spike. And then we're going to look at short, mid, and long-term trends for if you want to get involved in how you would analyze this. So remember here, when you got your stock, you can find out what sector it's in, what area is it in. I'm not going to go into that because you know good and well about Cardano and what fundamentally they're involved in and the team and all that. But do you want to compare it to other things in the sector? You know they're building decentralized application platform. So you can click on that. And they just fixed this, I think, at Coin Checkup. It's nice. You can find out the sector. Who else is in here? Well, Cardano and NEO are in there, and they're number 2 and 3 in this for the top ones in this sector, right behind Ethereum. So we're going to look at those two. Those are comparing apples to apples in this sector like this. Don't get all crazy on me if you like one better than the other. We know NEO is the China platform, but here we go, 130 million, 150 million. So I'm comparing those right off. Look at how close they are in volatility, in volume. So their 7-day volatility picture is very similar, 32 and 31%, 65% and 63% on the 30-day. But if you notice, volatility has been a little quieter than it was a couple weeks ago. So just keep that in mind. When trading, more volume comes into the markets, trading starts to happen, we get more volatility, things will get a little more expensive. Right now, they're a little cheaper than normal, and we're just comparing time frame to the other. We're not comparing necessarily stock market volatility to crypto volatility or volatility in the markets. But let's go back, go back to into Cardano like this because we were looking at the sector. And I want you guys to see the big picture, or just ask yourself, before you do any kind of crazy technical analysis, is Cardano in an uptrend? And so I want to pull the 3-month chart in here. We're just going to look at a big line and not look at candlesticks, not get all crazy on wedges and patterns and all this is going on. We're just going to look at the big picture of Cardano on the last 3 months. This is daily chart. So for the last 3 months, if you are a 3-month trader, So let's say you're just getting in this thing for 3 months. This is how you do it. We're gonna look at it if I'm in this thing as a trader for a week, if I'm in for 3 to 6 months, or I'm in it for a year or longer. That's your short, your mid, and your long term on all three of these: Cardano, NEO, and IOTA. So initially, the 3-month chart is just ask yourself, uptrend or downtrend? This is not hard. This is not hard to see, guys. It's in a downtrend. Now you could say, oh, it's leveling off. It's got this pattern. When I pull open a different chart, I see a descending wedge. I see a descending triangle. I see all this stuff. No, I'm just asking you simply, uptrend or downtrend? Downtrend. Now you might be very happy with this if you're a long-term investor and you're looking to buy on the cheap and the volatility is low like it is right now. This may be great for you. If you are a short-term trader, do you know if it's going lower? I don't know. I don't know if you know that. So let's go in here. Let's look at the last 7 days. That's very short trading. Downtrend. Okay. If you look at the overall percentage of the total markets. So remember, the green line here is the total of the crypto markets, and the red line is the underlying that we're looking at. So total crypto markets, flat line. We have a downtrend on the percentage of Cardano as of the overall market. So that's your short term. Let's go out to the 3-month, and then we'll go out to the 6 and the 1 year. Now, the percentage of total crypto markets leveling out right here. Is there any gain compared to what it was before? So you can see right here, it's flatlined. It is, for Cardano, 1%. It's in the red line, 1.28% of the total markets. So we're neither gaining or losing ground against total crypto. As you can see back here, just to compare it to itself for right now. January 4th, it was over 5%, 5.8% of total markets of crypto. And we had a big spike, and it was over the top of percentage of total crypto when it comes to itself. So again, 1% of total crypto, 6%. So this will give you an idea where it's at. Convergence, a divergence against the total markets. So it has lost market share. And that's what you want to say to yourself. Market share in crypto. Doesn't mean it has lost market share as far as a company, as far as their roadmap of where they're going, of where they're eventually going to be, but market share against total crypto right now. And then we're going to look at a year chart right here, and you tell me, uptrend, downtrend on the year. But look at this. It's like something open in its mouth right here. Total crypto market cap, short-term trend is up on the yearly chart. Volume long for this trend is a little down, but look at that. Cardano has lost significantly of market share against total crypto in this period right here. See, it diverged. It was a little higher back here on January 1, but now lost against the overall. So just ask yourself, where is that money flowing? Where is that going? Are people taking it out of Cardano? I don't know. But these are the questions you got to ask yourself, whether you are in for the short term, the midterm, or the long term. And just initially, I'm using this percentage in the last 7 days as a trading range. Using this in the last 30 to 90 days is another range. And you can look at 6 months back on the big charts. But rolling across here, left to right, when you go to this analysis tab, you're going to see not only how the team and all that we go into when we do fundamental, but right here, third place, is GitHub activity. I want to know what's going on with Cardano on GitHub on the development side. Here's the chart for the last year. The whole last year, ask yourself, development activity on GitHub, collaborators, contributors, and people giving commits compared to itself. Not overall crypto development activity, but on Cardano. It was a lot higher 6 months ago. So ask yourself why that is happening. What's going on with that? You can also look at Google search trends right from here, and you can find out What are people searching for on Google for the last 12 months when it comes to Cardano? It was a lot higher here for that first week of January than it is right now. But yet, overall, in an uptrend for the last year. Because if you draw a nice big fuzzy line up here, it's fine. So these are the things you want to ask yourself on here. For investment, remember this tab just how long has the coin age on Cardano, 5 months. And very important, for your position at this point. Again, Cardano's not my favorite sports team. I'm not loyal to any one crypto at all. I'm just giving you a fresh perspective that you might not have seen on these three so that you can make a good decision on price. You can make a good decision for your time frame. Not a financial advisor, just giving you my opinion, not giving you financial advice whether to get in or get out. But these are the questions that you have to ask yourself. And here are the biggies. Are you ready with the volatility, short-term 7-day, long-term 30-day, to look at the maximum drawdown in a day? So if you're going to get into this at this point, are you ready to tolerate this trailing 12 months of 27% in one day? Because it could go there. It's gone there before. And now 7-day volatility is 31%. So the action on this means, for the last 7 days, it has moved that range according to price. But now the maximum in one day has been 27% since the inception of this coin. Are you okay with that? That's the risk. Of course, it could go over at any point, but that's what it's done. So you're comparing it to itself. But then the maximum growth for the inception of this coin, the trailing 12-month on this, it's only been around 5, but they compute the trailing 12 right there. It's gone up 198 in one day. So you ask, is this a quieter time, a cheap time for me to get in Cardano if you want to get involved with it? Is it at a good point where I can tolerate this risk to reward? Ask yourself that right now. Now, I'm not going to go through these fundamental situations that they have on here, but along with the bump in Twitter activity that we saw today on Coin Trends, I want to know if there's news on Cardano. Many of you out there, when I was preparing this video, I said, I know what you guys are saying. I'm in this. It's a good company. It's solid fundamentals. But why is it in a downtrend? It seems like they have good news, but it doesn't affect price. How come? It should. And you're saying, if these things are happening, well, it should make Cardano go up. You got to know in traditional markets, and especially in the crypto markets, that this stuff is not necessarily ruled by news. You could have good news that makes these underlying coins go down, and you could have bad news and these things go up. It's got more to do with big volume of people investing in this. At a market cap right now today of total global crypto, 433 billion right up here, and just 17 billion in 24-hour volume in crypto. This market can be manipulated in the millions. Millions of dollars can manipulate in the market. Millions of dollars can't necessarily manipulate the global stock markets, the U.S. stock market. It takes billions to move things, and you got to be a huge player. But in crypto, these numbers are a lot smaller. That's why the volatility is higher. The trading is thinner, and it's just an immature space, as it was. So you have to know that just because the news is good doesn't mean it's going to go up. But yet, I want to know about news concerning development and roadmap and real mass adoption of this. What is the team doing with this to get to the point 6 months, a year, 2 years from now where this is adopted? And I like to see good news going on here on the development side. Not just, they got added to an exchange, but good news on the development side. So I'm seeing over here on Cardano News that we got a lot going on. There's a ton of news, recent news. You can find that right on this same page. We already talked about Twitter activity, but here are the events. And on Cardano, it's the events and roadmap tab on Coin Checkup. Price right now at 32 cents. I don't know if that's good or bad for you. I don't know if for the long term you like that as a price, if that's going to help you. Short, mid, and long-term perspective is what we're going to look at. And here we go. Tomorrow, we have a showcase of achievements by the Cardano team, and it is their most recent developments to various investors and known figures. This is an event going on. We got a 94% confirmation. I do know Cardano's got a lot going on here on this side. A meetup on the 27th, a short presentation from the foundation, followed by an evening of open discussion and networking. Are news things going to develop out of this? Are you going to hear stuff from the team that's going to encourage people that they are on track, that they are going and following their roadmap, ahead or behind on that, and that long term this is going to be a company that has sustainability for this mass adoption? Here it is, March 4th, the roadmap update. You want to be aware of that. Now, big investors, big money could try to front run this and get ahead of it. And you might wonder, why isn't this moving? Why isn't it moving? There's tons of news. It should be moving. It should be happening. Well, should it? Or does it need volume to come in? Does it need more investment, more dollars? That may happen over the next week or two before these. It may not. And then all of a sudden, in a couple months, you may get this huge volume spike in there. And it might not make any sense. But if you are a mid or long term, let's say 6 months to a year or even 2 years on Cardano, this might be a cheap time for you to get in and not try to guess. Not try to guess that it's going to run up next week, because you really don't know. Nobody knows. Each time in the market is unique. Keep saying that to yourself. It applies to traditional markets, commodities, options, stocks. It applies to crypto. You just don't know when it's going up. Just because you think it should doesn't mean it's going to. Don't get married to this stuff on that front, guys. All right, let's look at NEO now. We looked at Cardano. We looked at things that you need to be aware of for short, mid, and long term. And I'll just say this right here to close up Cardano. Over the last 24 hours, we have a 6.87% downdraft. You have over the last 7 days, 21%. And over the last 30 days, down 42%. So there's two ways to look at that. If you're a short-term trader in this, is this down enough that you're comfortable getting in? Is it cheap for you at that point? And then if you are you waiting? Maybe you're waiting for it to go down more. But on the midterm, let's say 90 days, you're a 90-day trader, you're a 60-month trader, which would be a lot more than a swing, but a medium term, I call it. 6 months on crypto is like 5 years, traditional markets. But that being said, look at what Cardano is doing. It's gone up 1,000% in the last 90 days. So you have room to go on each side. Decide which time frame you're in on this, or decide maybe for position size. Which one are you getting involved with? 7-day, 30-day, and 90-day. And while I'm here on this, go up to coincheckup.com, go into your settings, and let's make this look a little better for you guys to get a picture on this. Let's take out the 1 hour, because I'm not concerned with what's happened in the last hour. Let's take out, the 1 hour first. You go down here and hit save. That's going to refresh your chart. So now you got a day, you got 7-day, you got 30-day, and 90. So you can see what's going on. We already looked at the long-term charts for a bigger picture, 6 months to 1 year. So decide which time frame you are. All right, NEO. Let's go into NEO. While I'm on this one, 4% downdraft and in the last day, 11% on the 7-day. So see, we got some divergence from Cardano on this. You might decide if you're in these certain ones and you're following them, you might decide during these sea of red ones which one have more of a drawdown. You may want to put your positions in some of the other ones at the time if you notice that one of the other ones doesn't have as much drawdown. Instead of going and having a tax consequence and selling off your positions and going to fiat currency, US dollar maybe, or maybe you don't want to go into Tether, maybe you find that one of these holds a lot of strength on sea of red days. Notice that if you're in the markets and you're looking at it all the time, I encourage you to get to look at the facts. Don't just get stuck on the shoulda, coulda, wouldas of we've had news and this should go up. Don't worry about that. Start looking at the reaction of it, the strength and the weakness. In green days, sea of green days, look at what's weaker. In sea of red days, look at what's stronger. You may want to move some of these things one to another and increase your position size overall. Again, I'm going to go through a couple tips for you at the end and say, how much do you actually need? Maybe over the course of this year, you should only be going for 12% gain on these. Maybe you don't need a 10x gain on all these on your portfolio if you're a long enough term. And then here on the 30-day on NEO, only a 14% drawdown. Over the last 90 days, 205 on the last 90 days on that. So see, not as much huge gain as Cardano, but it didn't have as much drawdown either. Little tighter range. Again, same way on the volatility. Are you ready for 30% volatility? Are you ready for the 30-day volatility being 60%? Maybe you are. Maybe you can tolerate that. That's okay with you. All right, let's go into NEO. Look at our parameters here as far as trading goes. The 3-month chart, uptrend or downtrend? It's flat. Uptrend or downtrend on convergence, divergence from the overall crypto market. It's got a little bit of that open mouth syndrome on there. So we got to go out. We got to look at the daily chart, which is the 3-month on here. Uptrend or downtrend? Flat. Again, same way as Cardano on NEO. We have an open mouth on the percentage, the total market cap in the green, but the opposite here on NEO. It's got a little stronger. It's diverging while the trend on total crypto is just barely flatlined. You have a little uptick. So look at this. 1% of total market, 1.17. And it was just a couple days ago here down at 1.06. So we have a little bit of uptick where it's taking market share from total crypto. Be aware of that. Look, you had a spike here too during this time from February 10th to February 20th. So notice that trend. But look back here. January 29th, it had a percentage of total market of 1.8. So a lot more than it has right now, with total crypto being right around the same 500 line. And since we've been, and just while we're looking at this, while we've been at this 500 line on the green for total crypto space, look at what NEO has done during that time. It is always, it's gained, but then it's lost overall. Come down here. But compared to last year, pull the year chart, and you want to know how much market share is NEO taking more market share from total crypto. So is this a good spot to park your altcoin money? Might be. That's what you got to ask. Ask it according to short term, mid-term, and long-term. What kind of investor for you? But big picture-wise, are we in an uptrend for the last year on this? NEO? Yes, absolutely. We are still in an uptrend. Are we in an uptrend on, is it taking market share? Yes, we're in an uptrend on that. And look how closely it follows the overall markets. That's very interesting. Notice your volume. All right, how about on news? What's happening right now in NEO? Is there recent news? Is there plenty of things that you can dive into and check out? Remember, news doesn't necessarily move the price. Big volume, big money flow. Keep an eye on that. Watch the tweets. Watch if that is going to affect volume. Is that going to affect mass adoption on this thing? Oh man, look at all the news reports on the left. Lots of news, lots of headlines, lots of things on this site where you get to go through and just check it out. Wow, talk about not having to reinvent the wheel. Remember, also, it's on the list for sector, for digital currency, smart contracts, building decentralized apps, platform in China. So what this is to China, you see what Ethereum is, you see what these platforms are doing, Cardano. So look at it compared to each other, because on IOTA, we're going to have a little difference on that because it's a whole different deal. So events right now, what's going on with NEO events and their roadmap? If you are in this, you ought to know about their roadmap and how many events are coming up and what happens on those days. Strength of those events. What is happening? Well, it's loading. It's trying to load. No new events that we're aware of. Try again later. All right, look over here on the right while I'm on it. Remember that on Coin Checkup here, when you're involved in you're clicked into like Neo in your individual, that you have all percentage of price change in the last 1 hour, 24 hours, 7 days, 14 days, 30 day, 45, 90, and 200-day change. You see this? This is nice. You can enter that in on your screener on the front page, but just click in and you'll have it right here so you can find it as you're evaluating. So if you are a half-year investor or the 6-month one, look at a 500% change on this. Are you okay with that? Well, let's compare risk to reward. On the investment side, Neo's been around 17 months. I see the 30-day volatility of 63 and the 7-day of 30. But what's my max drawdown in one day for the trailing 12 months? 42%. That's a lot of drawdown in one day to tolerate. But is there more reward on that side? Is there more chance that I might have gained? 115%. Okay. So you allocate it according to position size on that. All right, here we go. We are on IOTA. And I'm already clicked into it right here. Let's refresh this page and get some current data on their news, on their chart, find out what's happening with them. You guys know this is a tangle. They're not in the same sector as the other two guys. But we're going to find out, is there current news? Well, we know there is. There's a lot of news on this. Recent news. Click on each one of these. Look at their tweets. Remember, they weren't on our last hour on the coin trends for the amount of tweets going on. But nonetheless, some recent stuff. February 22nd, 21st. You better follow these guys. If you're invested in any of these companies, go on Twitter and follow them for sure. But let's hop back here to the charts. Find out short, mid, and long term. What is happening with this? Short term, are we in a up or down trend? It's flatlined. Let's look at the daily chart, pulling the 3-month. With this, ask yourself, up or downtrend? That is a downtrend for the 3-month. Are we gaining ground on overall crypto? Are we gaining market share for this underlying? Doesn't look like it. It's just about flat there. All right, let's see. For the big term picture, let's say you're in this thing for the next year, for the last year. Uptrend or downtrend? Still in an uptrend. Still uptrend from last year when it started. Overall crypto right here in the green, you're familiar by now with this line. You've seen this now 3 times on this video, so you better know this line. So to itself is IOTA, or shout out to my Boston friends, you might say I order. That's much love to my Boston friends. Total market share of crypto, percentage of total market share, 3.79. Well, is this good for IOTA? Well, here's the trend that it's had. It's been higher. We've been upwards of 12% for market share of crypto. That's when market cap was down here. That was back in August. But compared to the market share going up of total crypto, we're right at 3.79. Now ask yourself on these three we compared, Cardano, Neo, and IOTA, the percentage of total market share. Well, these things being at 1, 2, and 3 or 4% are quite large. When you have total crypto beyond Bitcoin and some of the top ones being in that 100 billion range as total market cap. Total crypto right here, 471 billion, but the amount of altcoins, the altcoin percentage, exclude Bitcoin, exclude Ethereum really at that point. And some of the bigger market cap ones, that top 5, 10, is this a good amount? 3.79 is a good amount of market share when you're talking about this. Now, roadmap is a whole different story, and events. Just because this is good, does that mean they're following their roadmap? Because they have a good team, fundamental, all this stuff. Is there stuff coming up that they're going to deliver on? Is there going to be mass adoption of this? If it's not going to be mass adoption and actual real revenue with this until the next year, it may put you into a different category of investor. It might take you out of the trading or short-term weekly, might take you out of that 6-month, a swing trading or a 6-month type trading, and it might put you to be a long-term, and you need to look at the 200-day. You need to look at this as your gauge of what's going on because of maybe the roadmap And the events in the calendar, we got something up on the 28th. The founder of IOTA is speaking at an online conference for a crypto virtual summit. Will he announce something? Check it out. South by Southwest. Wow. Huge. March 13th. Look for news. What's going on there? Find out. They have a lot on their calendar, by the way. The business plan at the BBC Tokyo. Presentation of business plans at the Blockchain Business Camp of Tokyo, March 15th. That's soon. A partnership with the AV testbed on March 30th. They started announcing this, looks like on January 2nd. Are they going to deliver on this? Trinity Wallet beta, IOTA, and Euro listing on another exchange. So check out all those. There's plenty of news on this. And then another conference on May 23rd. So within the next 3 months, you got a lot of conferences, room for announcement. You might like this. You might like what they're doing on their long-term roadmap and plan. So here, back to the overall overview of these three. Yeah, they're in the top 10. Decide for yourself. Yeah, I know. Things are red today. But, oh, look at this. IOTA, why? Why out of these three, Cardano, Neo, and IOTA, in all the top 10 to 20 crypto right now, why do we got a 24-hour bump on that? What's happening there? Find out where that volume is coming from. Find out where it is on a trend compared to itself. Is 56 million right here on IOTA volume for the 24 hours? Is that a lot? Is it bumping up? Is there things going on with it? Here, let's look at the trend. Go into Trading View. Let's do that real quick before we wrap it up here. And remember, this pair, IOTA versus US dollar, we're on the one-day chart. And particularly, I want to look at volume. Don't even worry about candlesticks at this point. Just pull your chart as it's been around for however long it's been around. Some of these short-term projects aren't even going to have a year chart going on. But overall volume right now, see? This is the year as we have just come down from the fives. And December 18th was the peak. And here, and you've come down for this chart right here. Yep, still a downtrend, still a wedge in this. Is it going to break out? Is it going to go back up here? You don't have to guess. Find out and wait for a volume spike that works for your time perspective. Wait till you get a big volume spike like this and say, it is proving to me that maybe money is coming in. It's going to go somewhere. Now, prices moved 8% in the last 24 hours. So start keeping your eye on it. Start being aware of some of this. Don't just get all bent out of shape and quit looking at things on down days. Use it to identify strengths and weaknesses. Use it to find out how you're going to treat these three cryptos compared to the overall. Hey, this has been a good time on a Saturday night with you guys. Remember this crypto miso when you're looking at the GitHub commits. And I just wanted to show you here that they changed this, and now you can toggle this according to past 3, 6, 9, and 12 months on the development side. And it'll change the top 10. And let's just see what we were talking about today, if any of these are in the top 10 for the last 12 months. Nope. How about 9 months? Any of our special guys that we're talking about today in there? Nope. How about for the past 6 months? We got any spike on the GitHub development? Cardano ADA right there. It's in the top 10 on this. You could dive in this further by going to cryptomiso.com. Oh, let's look for the 3-month chart just while we're here. You guys can see it. 3 months, not in the top 10. So on the 6-month development side, all right, that's when you go into GitHub and you look at things more specific and you find out, are they delivering on the roadmap? Just a quick note on trading, short, mid, or long term. This is somebody else's chart. This is on a popular site. Not even going to, I'm not against or for this person or anything with these type of postings on any trading things that you look at. I'm just going to give you guys a little tip on this. Every trader is different. Every technical analysis guy is different. And you really need to take this stuff in the perspective of what kind of investor you are, short, mid, or long term. Because while this investor here, they could be totally right on some of these charts. So here's Cardano, according to this person. And on this this popular site, they're drawing lines and they're saying that the RSI is in oversold territory and there might possibly be a bounce from their other forecasts. And that was wrong, but now it's in a tight range. Okay, tight range for what? For their time frame. This is a daily chart. What if you're in this thing for 6 months? What if you're back here and you bought in and you're okay because we have a long-term trend here. Now you're a little below it and you're going to add to your position. Maybe this person's not going to add to their position because they're a day trader, a week trader, a swing trader. What if you're out longer than that? So just a word of caution on drawing lines and looking at wedges and all these charting patterns and all that. Take it in terms of how you are trading and where you're at for your portfolio. Because this right here, if you're in this for the short term, it just broke this line. So I don't know what that means. Watch for volume spikes. Just because this site says that Cardano's doing that doesn't mean that they're right for you. Might mean they're right for them as far as that goes. And I just thought it was coincidental that on this site right here, NEO was on that same thing. And it broke, they say it broke a critical support. This is a descending triangle. Is it going to do a breakout of here? We don't know. It's showing signs of recovery. Is it? Is it showing signs for you? Draw lines for yourself. Find out for yourself. Find out for your time perspective if this fits into your trading plan. Guys, that is going to be it for today. I do want to encourage you to go on Twitter. Find me, Crypto Trade Matt, and get on Twitter and Crypto Trade Matt. Follow me on there. But the Altcoin Buzz. Get on Altcoin Buzz on Twitter. But where I'm really at is on Steemit. So get on Steemit, follow me on there, and I will interact. And you guys have a great weekend. Thanks a lot. See you next time.